Good morning, guys. This is Ida. I wanted to share with you a project that I'm going to work on. I've had a lot of questions about the way, about this shaker card. So I want to share with you the process video on this and how I made it. I also had a question about somebody asking how was I going to, because in my swap, we needed to include whoever was making the cards, and if they were, pretty dimensional, they had to include an envelope. Well, when it's dimensional, they don't fit in a regular envelope. So we needed to create some type of box, and somebody, I think, was Holly her name? I'm not real sure, I'm sorry, but I did have a question about somebody asking me how I was going to house the dimensional card, being that it's got the spoon and it's, I'm going to say probably about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the card to the top of this spoon. So, I had ordered some boxes on Amazon, and this is what they look like, and they're real sturdy, and they do come in it's the bottom and the top, and they're only about an inch deep. And they're really sturdy, and they come in a craft colored and they come in the white. Well, I didn't want to get the craft colored ones. They're just like $1 cheaper, and they weren't too bad. I don't know if I got 10 of them for $11 or $12, and then the craft colored ones are probably 10 for $11. It's not a big difference, only about $1 or $2 difference in the two colors. But I wanted the white ones, so I went ahead and got these. Especially if you're going to ship this card to somebody, how special they would feel when they opened a box and if you spend enough money to buy a gift card to put in there, well, you're putting money in that card. And if you're spending whatever you spend on that gift card, it's definitely worth $1.50 box to put it in to keep it safe and to make a beautiful presentation. Now, if I was going to make this to ship it out to somebody, I've made cards that are dimensional for, some people locally, and I'll make them a box for it, or I'll buy a box, and I'll even decorate the top of the box, and then I'll put tissue paper inside where my card is going, so when they open the tissue, your card makes a beautiful presentation. So anyway, I got these on Amazon, and I'm not sure on how to post the links, but when my daughter gets home, she knows how to do that stuff. And I'll ask her to post the link to this. But all you have to do is just on Amazon, just search for a 5x6 box. And I'm sure these will come up. And I think these were even on Prime. And because I'm a Prime member, I didn't have to pay any shipping. And they came pretty fast, like in a couple of days. It's not always like that with Amazon Prime anymore, the way it used to be, but these did come pretty quick. So that's how I would house my cards. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make mine in case I have someone that couldn't follow through. That way I'm already prepared and I'm not having to last minute do anything. And I already have my boxes. So I did order my boxes to have everything ready, but I haven't decorated this one. But this is the card, guys, that we're going to make, or something pretty similar. The opening that I did on this one is bigger. The one I'm going to do is smaller because we're kind of just playing, or my daughter was kind of playing with it. I asked her to see if she could insert this hole in there. And she wasn't able to do this exact one the way I did, but she did something similar. Now, if I wanted to make this hole bigger, she did give me already a hole in there. I could just actually pencil it in and then cut it out, and it would be the same. And I might even do that. Who knows? We'll see where this takes us. But let's go ahead and get started, guys. Now, a lot of people have asked me, especially Nisha, who is Inspiring Beautiful Creations here on YouTube. You guys hop on over to her channel and show her some love. We do this because we love to do it and we love to share, but a lot of times people don't watch the videos, and you spent all this time creating and sharing so somebody can get ideas from you. So it's nice when somebody goes on there and watches your video. So hop on over to Inspiring Beautiful Creations and check out her channel. Anyway, Nisha is her name, Nisha White, I believe. And she lives in the same state that I do. We're practically neighbors. She lives a couple hours away, but not too bad. And she was asking about those cups because she's got a birthday coming up and she wanted to make those. Well, Nisha, this video is for you, honey, and I hope this helps you. And if it doesn't help you, I've been trying to get a hold of you and I haven't gotten any response from you. If worse comes to worse and I need to send you some of these, I'll do that for you. I don't mind at all. So get a hold of me, please. Leave me a comment or something because I have left a couple and haven't gotten any response. But I really want to help you. I want your party to go out, you know, to come out just the way you imagine it. And anyway, I'm going to show you. Everybody asked me because before I said this cup was a free SVG file that we Googled, and it's not. It's actually a free cup template. So when you're searching, search for cup template on Google and this will show up, and it's just a white paper and it's got the outline of this cup open like this. That's the one that you want to get. Now I know on my other video my daughter did post the link to that for a couple of people. So go back and watch that video and read the comments and the replies, and you'll see that some of them do have the links to this cup. So I asked her to cut one out for me because I'm sending Happy Mail to Ginger because Ginger was very generous. She went out of her way, even though Hawaii's going through what they're going through right now. She went out of her way to send me some beads that I really admired. And she didn't just send me the beads. She sent me other stuff. She's awesome. So I wanted to return the blessing, you know, not that she expects it, not that I have to, but I want to do that because, you know, like I said, I'm a giver. So I'm going to send Ginger some things, and I wanted to make her a thank you note. So I'm hoping that she'll like this cup because I know Ginger is not just, you know, an awesome lady because she's all of that, but she's also a sister in Christ because she's a Christian and so am I. So, you know, you could say we're sisters. So I'm going to send her a thank you card, and I want to make it in the shape of the cup, because of the stamp sets that I use are Christ related. So that's what I'm going to use. So anyway, this is what the template looks like, guys. So you're going to need to cut 2 of these. And I'm going to show you that even if you didn't do the design the way my daughter did, the shape cutting it out, that you can still do this. So you're going to need to cut out 2 of these because I'm going to show you how I do my my shakers. So here's the template, and this is the one that she did for me, and she cut this out just like a U shape, but I think I'm going to give it more like the cup shape. So I'm going to tweak it a little bit, but see how I'm still going to use both pieces to trap my acetate sheet, because for me, I think it's easier to trap the acetate in 2 pieces of paper than to try and glue it to my foam and try and glue that to other stuff. And wouldn't you know it, I didn't get my foam ready. So, but I'm going to try and make it quick, guys, because I don't want it to drag on. Anyway, this is the one that we're going to use. So you're going to need 2, and you're going to score it. You'll see where the cuts are right here. That's where you want to score it. See, you can see the cuts right here. That's where you're going to want to score that on both cups. So this is the paper I'm going to use. This is going to be the inside of my card. I really don't want it to be the outside because I don't really care for the way that line looks going through it like that. And I want to make it into a shaker card, you guys. So I think I prefer this splattered pink and yellow inside. So that's what's going to be my on the background of my shaker. Now I am going to go ahead and cut this out a little bit more because I didn't pay attention, but on my other one, as you can see on this one, see how I did the outline and followed the shape, this little bowl shape of the cup, and I like the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other one that we're going to use, and hopefully someday my daughter will be able to figure out how to make your own cutting lines like that. She's working on it. She's trying to learn how to use her brother scan and cut, but this is good enough for now, guys. You know, so we're just going to tweak it a little bit. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to, with a pencil, I'm going to go ahead and just follow this line and just the shape. I'm drawing the shape of the bowl, and it's going to meet up right here in the bottom, so that's fine as far as I'm concerned. And we're going to do the same over here. We're going to come from the bottom of this come out to the bowl and kind of bring it in up here. So we're going to have this pretty, you know what, I think I'm going to do that. And you want to leave yourself, I like to leave myself a pretty wide border on my cups because I don't like to have to be cutting my tapes really thin and having to struggle with that. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Let me see if I see a difference right here in this one that I might want to change. Is it in this one? Yeah, in this one. Right here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and score this one down the middle, you guys, where these cuts are. And mine's already been pre-scored because I was going to use it like that. But I've changed my mind and I'm going to go ahead and trim it a little bit. No, I didn't exactly score it in the right place, so I want to make sure it's perfectly lined up. I'm going to hold it down, and now I'm going to score it. And this part is going to be the top of my card where my sentiment is going to be, because I decided even that to do that in a different way. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this outline, you guys. And it shouldn't be too hard because we already have a hole going on. So it won't be a big deal. And try and cut it as smooth as possible. And if there's any pencil marks after you're done, just go ahead and erase it. That's why, you know, you're using a pencil. That way you can go ahead and erase. I hope I'm in frame, you guys. Because, I mean, I'm not doing anything major but cutting my outline that I drew. I hope the lighting is fine in here. See, but I'm giving it this little shape that the cup has. And then I'll come back to the top and just right there to the tip, that where it's already been cut, I'm just going to snip it right there. Let me set this aside. I've been cleaning, guys. Believe it or not, I said I was going to organize my desk and stuff. And so I'm going to do that. So now see right here where I went in at first, it's not cut right. So I'm going to come back in here now that I can get my scissors in there really well and cut that out. Now we have more of that cup shape. And I'm going to go ahead because you can see the outline of my pencil. And I'm going to go ahead. Now I'm going to see if I can bring this into my Cricut because I have a Cricut. And I'm not real good with it, but I can manipulate some of the designs and combine them and break them up and add them to something else. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do this on my Cricut. That way, when I cut it out, it already has the shape that I want it to have. Now I know why for me it looks a little bit different, because when I traced my other one, I actually went out like this and back into the cup line right here. And I guess that's what's throwing me off, that I kind of like the shape of the cup. So I'm going to actually adjust it a little bit more and go back out this way. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out as well. It's just a personal preference thing. And to me, I just like the way it looks better. And then I'll just cut this right off. Just that little extra piece. I see a point here that I don't like, so I'm going to kind of round it off some. There we go. And I'm going to do the same on this side, guys. I'm going to go ahead and follow my pencil mark. And then I'll go in here and cut just straight across to get rid of that little piece. Yeah, that's better. What do you think, guys? I think that's better. So that's what we're going to go with. And eventually I'll get to where I'll put it on my, hopefully on my Cricut, and design it where when I cut it out, I don't have to do anything to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase my pencil marks. Nothing major. There we go. Now, if you see a piece that you don't like right here, I can see that it's not curved as nicely. So I'm just going to go in there. And I'm kind of I'm not perfect, but I like to get things as close as to perfect that I can. But they're never going to be completely perfect because nobody's perfect. Okay, so there's that. And now we're going to go ahead, and the one that's solid, we're going to go, I already scored it. Now you don't have to, you can just fold it over and, you know, and crease it. But I kind of like to pre-score it. And that way it folds nicer. It's nicer and very crisp. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this and score it. I hope this video doesn't get too long, you guys. I don't want you to get bored with me. So there it is. I went ahead and scored this, and this is going to go on top of here, and it's going to have dimensional tape. And this is where we're going to do our shaker parts and all of that. So anyway, here's this part, and this is where it gets really good, guys. I'm going to show you something that I picked up on Amazon. I was thinking of stamping on the outside of the acetate sheet, and I bought these on Amazon, you guys, and they are, it comes 20 in a pack, and they're 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And you can emboss on these. It will not, you know how plastic will shrink with the heat. These are embossable, and you can stamp on them. I imagine if you can emboss on them, you can stamp on them. So I stamped on one of these, and I did use my Misty, guys, because the first time I stamped, it didn't come out right. But don't throw your sheets away. Just get regular alcohol and a little tissue or a rag or something, and you can wipe it off, because I was trying to rub it off with a stamp cleaner and it wouldn't come off. But as soon as I put plastic in a tissue and wiped it, the stamping came off. And even though I used StazOn, it came off because of the alcohol. So this is what I use to stamp. That way it sets and it won't rub off or anything. And I stamped it a while ago, so mine's good and dry. When you stamp it, put it aside for a little bit while you're working on other stuff. That way you won't smear it. So I used the black, and I left it out so I could show it to you guys, but I'm going to put it away now because, like I said, I am cleaning up. And then I'm going to show you what that looks like. And that's this right here. I left the white tissue behind it. See, it says, taste and see that the Lord is good. And that's what I'm going to put, but it's stamped on the outside. So I don't have to stamp like my other one. I actually stamped the paper. And I think it would look better like this, where it's sitting on top of all the shaker bits. So this is what we're going to use. And like I said, I did mess up the first time. Just take alcohol and rub it off and start again. But use your Misty, guys, because when you don't stamp right with your Misty, you can just pick it up and add some more ink to it and stamp it right in the same place. Now, I know everybody doesn't have a Misty because, you know, when I bought it, you know, I had to really think about it because, you know, those things can get kind of pricey. But it was a good investment. It really is. If you can do it, it's a good investment, guys. So I'm going to set this aside because I have that already done. And I'm going to show you. What how I do this. So I'm going to take my piece off the tissue paper. It comes with a piece of tissue paper in the back. Now I'm going to put my cup more or less where I want it, where I want my sentiment to be. And I think there's about right. So I'm going to turn it to the back, you guys. And I'm going to get a permanent marker. And I'm kind of just going to draw around it where I want to cut it. That way I can just trim around, you know, follow the outline. And let me see if I can find a permanent marker. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be real thin or anything because it's not going to show. And even if you can't get the permanent marker off, it's not going to show. So this is about where I want it. So I'm just kind of going to draw on the acetate sheet the shape that I want it to be. Whoops. Maybe I need to move it. No, it's fine. I'm going to come across here. And it's not going to be perfect, you guys. And it's not going to matter. So that's the shape I'm going to cut out. This makes it so much easier for me when I'm trying to do this, because I can follow this outline. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut around that. Straight across. And the marks here are not going to show, guys. Nobody's going to see that. It's going to be trapped around 2 layers of paper. And it's going to be awesome. Nobody's ever going to know that you traced that. So, and save the extra piece that you cut. I save everything. I'll put it back in its original package. That way I'll know it's not a regular acetate sheet. Now, I'm not even going to bother, like I said, to erase the outline, because when I glue it in here, you're not even going to see the outline. So let's go ahead and do that. But see what I did? I opened it up and I sandwiched it between these two pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm going to add some red line tape to it. But you can add score tape or anything like that. And usually, because this is so thin, I can actually just kind of maneuver it and manipulate it to go around the cup. Because I want to get not real close to it, but you know. So I'm going to cut this piece off right here, because that way I can shoot straight across. I'm going to turn this around, and I hope that I'm in frame, guys. I've kind of put my phone low so I can see what I'm, you know, that if I'm in frame, and it looks like I am. So now I'm going to shoot straight across right here, and I'm not going to cut it there. I'm just going to turn it and follow the outline of the cup. Now you can do this on both sides. I normally just do it on one, but if you wanted to, you could do it on both sides and it wouldn't hurt it. And in this case, let's go ahead and do it on both sides, because you saw that it didn't take me very long to do that. So let's do the same on this side. So when we put the plastic down, it's going to be nice and trapped where we want it. And I'm just kind of curving the tape, and even if I have to bend it a little bit and twist it, that's okay, because most of it is going to be stuck down to the tape. So I don't have a problem with that. And see, I'm just kind of turning it with my finger and just doing little sections at a time until I get it to curve the way I want it to. And here we are already at the end. I'm going to go ahead and take that off. And luckily, I had that tape handy, because a lot of times my stuff is put away in drawers. So the handles are going to go to your left, to the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off, this one on the bottom. See how it just peels right off, you guys? I put my trash can on the other side because I was cleaning on the other side of my desk, and I don't have my trash can here, but that's okay. I'm still not done cleaning anyway, so I got a long way to go. Long way to go, guys. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and set this where I want it, or where I think it's straight. I think that looks pretty good. But I'm not going to press it down yet. I'm going to look at it. Oh, wrong way. Nope, it's not the wrong way. It's the right way. I think it's a little crooked, guys, so I'm going to straighten it out. But I didn't press it down. That way I can actually move it. Come on, be nice. Be nice to me. And you know, it's the tape is staying put. It's not ripping the cup or anything. Just as soon as I say that, then it wants to, right? Ah, this stuff is so sticky, you guys. Come on. There we go. So let's try this again. I'm going to try and get it as straight as I can. Close this up. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there, you guys. So that's where we're going to leave it, right there. And I'm going to run my finger, because it did get a little bumpy here where I pulled it off. But just use your bone folder and kind of get that out as much as you can. But it's not going to hurt it. It's not going to look bad or anything, because you have that other piece of paper that's going on top. Now I'm going to go ahead and add glue around this area where there's no tape. And I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off of this back piece. And get that out the way. Hopefully my glue will work for me. And what I like about this, that it traps the acetate, and even if it were to come unglued, it would have nowhere to go to shift because everything else is glued down. So let's see. Yes, well, I didn't want to do that much. Let's move this down here to the bottom somewhere. So just go ahead and add your glue. You want to add it around your handle as well, because you want all that to be glued down the center right here where it creases, and on this side. And that should be pretty good, guys. And all we're going to do now is just close it up. And there is our acetate piece, nice and secure inside that the cup frame that we did. And like I said, even if the tape were to come off, it wouldn't shift. It would have nowhere to go because it's entrapped with that seal of glue that we added. Squeezing out right here. And I'm just kind of running my bone folder just in case I have bumps on my paper to kind of get it off, to kind of smooth those bumps where the tape kind of gathered up. Now you can, you know, take your time on the tape. It's because I'm doing this video that I don't want it to be real long, that I didn't take my time. But look at how nice that is, guys. Let me put the background to it so you can see. See? Isn't that pretty? And it's actually on the acetate, so no matter how many sequins I put in the back, it's not going to interfere with the sentiment because the sentiment is on the outside. It's on the acetate. So I really like that. So let's go ahead and add our foam to the back of this. So most of the work you're going to do, it's going to be on this piece right here. And I do have some foam tape here I want to use. And I am going to trim this. Actually, no, I'm not going to use foam tape. That's not really normally what I use. I'm going to use foam sheets. But I'm going to use a white one. Hold on one second. Remember I told you I thought I was ready and at the end I wasn't? Let me grab the white foam sheet. Now I'm not sure if on a Cricut or a Silhouette you can cut foam because I haven't tried it. But, so I'm going to move that. And actually, you know what? I shouldn't have put the acetate sheet on there. I should have done my outline and everything before I even did that. Because you can use this one and put it down and you trace around it without minus the hand. Well, I'm going to say minus the handle. Just around the outside of the cup because I don't think I normally do the handle. And then I would have been able to mark on the inside of this. But I didn't leave I already put the sheet on here, guys, so I won't be able to do it. So before you do this, please remember, because I know usually you'll watch the video before you do it, that before you add the acetate to this, cut out your foam pieces. But I'm going to go ahead and use this one, and I'm going to move it all the way to the edge because I don't need the handle. And I'm going to set it here because I'm going to cut me a strip, and then I'm going to fold it over and cut the cups, my cup pieces. Let me fold it in half. And this is what I use, guys, these foam sheets for my shakers. I think they're more economical, and everything doesn't stick to them the way it does when you use that tape. So I'm going to move the cup up to the top. I'm going to kind of give this a nice little crease, and I'm just going to take this tip here and just kind of go around my cup. I don't have to do it with a pencil because this is going to leave the outline on the cup. And I'm going to stop here. I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to come back up here because I don't want the handle, but I'll know I'll have that outline to follow. So when I remove this, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to kind of just move it back and forth, but there's the outline to the cup. And you can, you know, when you're doing it at home, you'll be able to see that. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you will be able to see that. So let's go ahead and cut these pieces out. So, and I usually cut on the inside of the line because I don't want the foam to be that noticeable. So I'll cut on the inside of that line that I marked that I just gave myself. Now, if this were a die, I could actually cut it with my die, but because it's not a die, then we can't do that. And try and cut your foam really smooth, because foam, you know, if you don't try and cut it really smooth, it gets kind of choppy and jagged, the edges. Let me go down this way. But I can see the outline clearly that I gave myself. Okay, and I'm not going to throw this away, guys. I don't throw my scraps because sometimes I just need a little piece. So I'm going to try and make sure that I did cut this piece right by putting my cup over it. And I'll see if I need to trim some more. I might need to trim it some more. This would go up here. And as I can see how I can see right here where I do need to come in some more? And even over here, I need to come in some more. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. I'm going to go ahead and trim it up some more. And I'm still going to follow the same outline. I'm just going to bring it in some. And maybe I'll round this a little bit. And I think I needed to do the same on this side. Needed to bring it in some more. Down on the bottom. And let's see how this looks. Now you could glue these two pieces together and then cut them, but I don't like to do that because when I cut out the center, I don't want the center to be glued together because I can use it on other projects. And it doesn't have to be perfect again. See, this looks pretty close. I can see, okay, I can see right here where I need to cut. So I'm just going to hold this and just trim this off. There's that. And maybe a little bit right here. I'm going to take this off because I can see that on this side it does need to be trimmed some. And this should be plenty. And I should have had this ready, but I want to give you the whole process on how I do this. I don't want to just tell you, you know, I want to show you. And look, my cup's not perfect, you guys. The foam on the bottom is not perfect, but by the time